What up, everybody? We live. We live. Just give me a second here. Let people start filtering in. Good. Okay. Let's get cooking here. Let's get cooking. So, Kevin Bavone, what we doing? Yeah, I could kind of tell. We're gonna talk about that GFS round because I already noticed there were some significant changes. So we're gonna talk about that too. That got me pretty excited. I'm not gonna lie. Both, it's not often. You know what? F it. We'll talk about Thanksgiving in 1 second. We're not gonna go long range right away. I promise. But screw it. Screw it. Thank you for everybody in the YouTube chat. John, you're my guy. Appreciate you as always. Now, I'm just saying, listen, you want to call about manifesting something right here. 6 more. 6 more. Oh my gosh. My life will be complete if I get 7,000. No, I'm just kidding. I really appreciate everybody that does. It's not necessary. Peep the graphic though, guys. Look how we've upgraded over the years. It's incredible. Um, I'm just saying. I'm just saying. Keep an eye on it down the road. Keep an eye on it. And wow, this cannot be more anticlimactic right here. Whatever, go back. This one right here. Oh, pen tool is always a little slow in the beginning as on this setup. New setup starts next week. So, hello, pen tool. Cooperate. Yeah, the graphics we're much improved for sure this year. Oh, YouTube chat, what up, my guys? I'm just saying, we'll get to that. This is a precursor. If you want to know more about that, yeah, no, John, 7K, 6,994 unsmart people follow me for whatever reason. No, I'm just kidding. I'm sorry, guys. I can't give myself too much credit here. I can't do that. But let's talk about currently Thxgiving. So, honestly, if you live, um, if you live along 495 and you're just north of 495, I-90 across Massachusetts, I-84, Connecticut, you're still in play, but your margins did not improve from yesterday. In fact, they stayed about the same, right? I'd say like 40, 60 are your margins just north. Now, one thing that has gone our way is we're seeing our storm get more caught in to the northern branch. That's one thing we've noticed. Um, oh, we got the YouTube people here. Shout out. Thanks everybody who's liked the stream. Appreciate it. The more the better. More the better. The more we can expand, the better. So here is this is 108. It's too far. So one thing we have done now is notice we've gotten this more in the flow. If we could just wrap in, and we could have and keep this pressing, we could have put more pressure and cold air. And you never know. We still have some cold air, decent, right? If we go let's go here. Thermodynamics. Let's get 2 minute temperature anomalies. We're a little bit below average, just ahead of the storm. So there's some colder air in place, and we're gonna see how well we can hold it. And then right, kind of the boundary, right? We're amplifying this boundary here. So, all right, this boundary, right, and we amplify it so the higher height lines start going more upstream, and that allows us to develop a low pressure system here, and then the battle of warm air and some marginal cold air goes on, and in between becomes the battle zone, and that's where we can look at the potential for some areas just north of there to be able to get over a half a foot of snow. It's become pretty clear now, I think, that we're going to be looking at like a significant snowstorm potentially. Um, Again, there could be some drastic stuff that goes on because it's energy consolidation is key here, but don't get too caught up on the thermals. Um, you know, I really think some of these model runs are underestimating heavy snow potentially, but also see here's why I get conflicted too, as my thoughts go around is, will there be enough good dynamics to hold off the warm air surge that would be coming from the south and off the ocean? That's really my biggest question. And honestly, we're not going to really have as good of idea until the day of, which stinks kind of because this will be such a tricky battle. It's always, um, it won't win out here. It won't win out for Eastern Mass. Even Northeastern Mass off the ocean will be very difficult. But we'll see a low pressure system. We'll see this pressure system develop, right? And the question is, right, we've seen more like kind of consolidate more energy again towards the northern edge of this boundary, allowing for our back for our northern branch of energy to help amplify it a little bit more. Um, you can see here, right, this whole piece here helping amplify this more, reserving less back and not shearing it off. In the process, what that allows for it to happen is a bigger snowstorm up here. But if we amplify this too much, it's going to take off too soon, and you start turning this more on its side a little bit versus across. And even though this makes it more difficult to get higher or more stronger mid-level dynamics, it gives you just more of a shot for areas in here, a little bit further north. Sorry, but you get the gist. Some of these areas we really need, um, to keep an eye on. For again, it's going to be close. Some of these, all right, we'll have decent mid-level dynamics. How early and how well we can consolidate here would be huge. It could allow for some surprise here. And again, this complicated day too. It's travel day, right? This area is gonna be really fascinating to watch. If I take like this, boom, this area right in here is going to be fascinating to watch in terms of how that rain snow line develops. Again, can we get enough cold air to win out? Can we get strong enough mid-level dynamics just north to be able to cash in around I-90, 495, and just north? At the moment, warm air is winning pretty well. Warm air is winning pretty well. And we're seeing a lot of models focus up here and not allow it to get any further south, the accumulating snow. PA will do well because you'll be able to get kickstart. I think PA could overperform further south with the rain snow line because you're further away from the ocean and you're not really seeing um, a lot of flow off the ocean quite yet. We're not seeing this surge of warm air as prominent, and you're closer to our cold air source as well from here and behind, and you'll also get the kickstart of some of these best dynamics as well. So I think maybe not a higher ceiling in terms of snow totals, but I think PA can make out pretty decent because, and even into central New York because for the reasons I just explained. Back here, it'll be trickier because now you start going at more of an angle with your dynamics as we're going to more somewhere in the 990s of a low we're going to be intensifying. Again, one thing I do question though is this low pressure really going to be able to creep up this much? We talked about our gradient being just offshore here, and low pressure systems like to follow the path of least resistance. So I think something to watch for is this low pressure system going to track more towards the gradient offshore, or is it going to be able to track further north? And we can kind of show that gradient again. We pull it to analysis tools. Yeah, winds weather. I think Maine is gonna. God, church, my man, how we doing? Appreciate everybody that's liking the stream. That's in here in YT right now. Let's go to sea surface temperatures, ocean analysis. North Atlantic. Let's play find the gradient. Let's play that. We are still in La Nina, by the way, for those that don't think we are. You can see that. Still not even a, or is that a week? Oof. Yeah, it's 1.5, 1 to 1.5, 0.5 to 1. There's a gradient I'm talking about right there. That's the path of least resistance for this to go just off Jersey, that low pressure system. So I would, and again, remember, we're in a more zonal flow for the moment as well. So it's going to be, I think, really, I don't think we're going to see a Euro where we amplify so much and that low pressure is going across Connecticut. I would lean away from that. We talk about different scenarios, and this is me more of making a forecast based on some synoptic stuff. So I'm gonna lean away from this low pressure going across the land. I don't think that's gonna happen. I think the best path for this is to follow the gradient. That's my analysis when it comes to where we think this low pressure system is going to go. Right, you go to the. I haven't seen the 18Z Euro yet, so we can take a look. How does that compare to 12Z? A little less amplified, small. It's about the same. Oh, this is 700. Not all that different. Maybe slightly less amplified. Just a tad. Pretty consistent though. But still rather amplified. I don't think we're going to see our low pressure go over land like the Euro is saying. I could be wrong. Maybe we could see it happen. This is one possible scenario. But I don't think our low is going to go over southern Connecticut. I think our low is going to be about 75 miles south, 50 miles south. Trek in here. So that's why I'm going to lean. I forget what the NAM did, but was it closer? Still, I think a little bit too far north here. A little bit too amplified. I would give the edge to the GFS here. GFS has the low for the most part offshore. I would kind of lean there. So, if we have a little bit of a weaker system too, that makes me, question how good of our dynamics we're going to be able to create as well. So, I don't know if I'm fully on board with, some of these model runs getting as crazy as they are. Not crazy, but, I don't know about a foot of snow, but those really highly elevated areas, hoping for snow. Yeah, aren't we all? Zach, Southern Vermont ski mountains are going to win big. Yeah, for sure. I think Southern Vermont is going to make out really well here, or just they're in a prime position for sure. Really, all of Vermont is. All of Vermont should get, at least 43 to 6 inches of snow. Pretty much all of Vermont. Maybe besides some of those lower elevated areas in northern Vermont, possibly. But yeah, I think this is going to work out. I've always said with this storm and even the upcoming pattern that this area here, highest margin for error, and you draw it out, you can see that's where the most snow on this specific GFS run. So at the moment, I'm going to lean more towards the GFS. Not out of anything more really than I think our low pressure system is going to track right around here, and that's where the GFS has it closest to right now. But GFS dynamics are also going to be, this is probably all snow further south. Fear that heavy precipitation, even with the warm influx of air. Now, this is the thing I worry about. If we have this heavy dynamics here in this area, and we're not all snowing, it's a little bit of a concern that maybe the warm air might win out. So I'll be curious to see how that plays out when it comes to this storm. Slow, but I like the idea of where the GFS low plate placement is a little bit more. Let's see what I forget what the Canadian did. Yeah, Canadian's about the same too. And you know what? RGM too. I don't know if we'll get a 0Z, but I like even as low res of this model it is. You can see it building in here in the higher elevations. Canadian's pretty close to where I kind of would favor accumulating snow. You may be able to mix in, really this whole area may be able to mix into flakes at some point, besides the valley. But I think this whole area could be able to mix in some wet flakes, depending on how this trends. So I'll be very curious to see, what goes on here. But you can do reactions on YouTube. I didn't even know that. But yeah, so that's kind of where I lean. And then in terms of accumulations, that's what really people talk about. Timing first before accumulations. Timing, really during the day and then through the night. So we start morning time. We start across Pennsylvania, and then we start midday across New England, and then northern New England is Thursday evening into Thursday night is the primary time frame it looks like. So this could change a little bit too, right? We need to see how models still handle some of the energy consolidation, and NAM's kind of been like some of the more extreme examples of that, where if we go back here, see how weak it was. It was just how it amplified along the boundary, like we were talking about, and then the next run was back, and this was the next run. Right, so it's really just all about where we consolidate that energy along our boundary, and how much does it get amplified, like we've been talking about this entire time. And so that's kind of different examples of how that could play out. Boom, boom. All right, run and run difference, pretty massive there, which isn't crazy. Right, so when I looked at the 12Z runs today, I was like, wow, everything's really different. But it's really just not too much different, more as of different scenarios based on what we've been talking about. So let's take a look at some of these. What are we looking at for accumulations? I also want to look at some of the accumulations, and some of the Jeff's runs. Just see all the different scenarios again. They weren't super enthused last night, and we'll look at the straps as well. Let's see if we can get winter. Look at mean snowfall accumulation first. Jeff's was pretty amped up this run. Look at the mean there. Jeff's was pretty enthused here, so you got to take these with a grain of salt, because it's not a snowfall map, but it would be pretty close. Honestly, this would be pretty close. I don't think we'd see anything here, not even flakes probably, but coating to an inch possible if you're able to get dynamic cooling to take place, and then 1 to 3 basically north of here. And I think in here we look at a nice range of 4 to 8, and maybe some 8 to 12 possibly as well, especially higher elevated areas. There'll probably be a couple swaths of 8 to 12 in some of those elevated areas in Vermont, New Hampshire, and Maine, with maybe a 6 to 10 somewhere out here in the Catskills with this storm. And then if we look at the different members, that's what I'm interested in. To zoom in a little bit, we have, let's see, it was kind of a hit, kind of, yeah, big hit, pretty big hit there. So there's some runs where dynamic cooling, there's another hit where I'm talking about, did we pull it further south? Where is dynamic cooling able to kind of take over? See, you have your interior runs, right? Even here is close, kind of an in-between. That's probably closest to what, the forecast. This one's probably closest to. Forget totals. Just look at the area of covered. Don't really focus on the totals too much. But, it's 20 members there from from here, and giving from the Jeffs, giving us a good idea of, different possible scenarios. Let's go to, let's see. Here's 12-hour mean snowfall. So snowfall in 12-hour stretches. And yeah, Srefs and Jeffs both, it's probability. So, I know this is mean snowfall. So, and honestly, this is pretty close to what I would carve out. Very close to what I would carve out. Here's your favorite area for most snowfall. Right here. That's where 4 to 8, 8 to 12 inches of snowfall will be. Widespread 4 to 8 with 8 to 12 plus, potentially. That's where I'm looking at. So yeah, glad you guys love it here in the YouTube chat. But yeah, let's see. And winds weather, NWS says under 1 inch below 1,500 feet on mesoscale and even global. Yeah. So here's the thing. You really start wrapping in more cold air towards the latter end of the storm, and stronger dynamics. You're continuing to intensify. And so you're moving farther north, the low pressure system here, into colder, just temperature in general too, and you'll see this line start to press more. Again, if it's a weaker low pressure system, then maybe not as much snow up here, and just in general. But if we're able to see low pressure placement off here instead of here, like the Euro and the NAM are suggesting, we get something closer to the GFS. And GFS is going to handle it, the thermals not too well because it's a global model, and it's just GFS in general doesn't handle that stuff pretty well. This is where people further south can cash in from maybe 1 to 3 inches, right? Your upside in this area is 1 to 3, 2 to 4. That's kind of your ceiling where dynamic cooling takes over. Some of those really highly elevated places can get 3 to 4 inches, while some of the lower elevated areas can get a 1 to 3, be snow for the beginning period of the event, get a front end thump, maybe even start as rain, but switch over once heavy snow starts, and then switch back to rain. And we'll get, again, we're still 2 nights away, so things are going to change. If we do really amplify this too much, then we'll start to move these totals back further northwest. But I don't think we amplify any more than what the Euro already has with the low pressure system going across southern Connecticut and up here. I think that's about. I think the Euro is kind of the most amplified for this setup. It's not it's not a clean phase, and I think the Euro is really over amplifying the boundary just a little bit too much, along with the NAM, which is expected for the NAM. New Euro though is harder to make out. Let's look at the Euro AI, and then Euro's already freaking rolling out. I love it. 12:15 a.m. and the Euro's already rolling out. It's fantastic. So let's go to Euro AI. I want to see how it's handling. I've been obsessed with the Euro AI. Yeah, winds weather. I like. Yeah, I in general like this whole area here to do really well. Just off the coast of Maine, just off the coast of New Hampshire, all of Vermont pretty much, and central New Hampshire, central southwest, interior southwest Maine, southern Vermont, central Vermont, jackpot. Back into the Catskills, but they'll just be more precip. You'll be stronger, more. There'll just be more to give up here. Even though we talked about Central New York and Pennsylvania are still going to do well, in my opinion, unless we're weak. If we're too weak, then it's still going to just be light in general. It'd be more of a 1 to 3, with a max of 3 to 6, 4 to 8 in the highest elevated areas. So let's see what we got for the AI. Because AI has been, technology is getting scary, man. Euro AI has been doing superb. Let's see what we got here. Let's compare. With, yeah, you can see Euro AI actually is it's hard. The definition is difficult to make out. Let me go to GFS. I think the Euro AI is the height lines are about the same, but the Euro is more enthused with our Vort being brought up here, to put it for lack of a better phrase. You can see that we're a little bit flatter, even though it's harder to recognize. We're a little bit flatter with this is it 18Z? Did it give me? No, it's 12Z still. Just a little bit flatter. And then GFS kind of lines up more with the GFS in terms of the energy profile. Even though the GFS is almost a little bit more reserved. Bubba News, love your late night videos lately stuff, BGWX. Oh, I appreciate it. Keep coming in. Thanks, Bubba Street. Bubba News. So this is where some of the stuff gets this is where again I start to lean more towards GFS. Let's see what the RGM has. I appreciate you, JS. When is the snow map? So the problem is I don't have my stream setup. My laptop is not with me currently, and I'm gonna have it after this weekend, and that's where I have Photoshop and make all my snow maps. So I can throw out something still for this storm. It just won't look as official. I'll threat map and I'll do it tomorrow night. I'll throw something out. But here's the RGM, which I wanted to see. Um, take a look at this. So I'm sorry I don't have a snow map for this official snow map for the storm, but I'll throw something out there. I mean, the thoughts remain the same really for right now. Let's see what the RGN does just by itself. I appreciate you being here. The RGM is such an underrated model in my opinion. It does so much better on thermals. Prior to storms, I come in being like, I don't know if the RGM is gonna if this is it, but and then after it produces consistently. Let's see who we have here. 0Z. Let's take a look. Yeah, I think the RGM. I think the RGM's catching on to the thermals like pretty well. I think that's a and even with the low pressure, look where the low pressure system it still is. It's almost over Long Island. It's moving just south of Long Island, over Long Island, close to the GFS. I think, and this aligns more with, and you see with the more southern tracks, you get this rain snow line to build in here, and I think that's where I'm going to lean. RGM and Euro AI and GFS. That is where I'm going to be leaning with this storm currently, just because it aligns best with what I think. Could be looking at this being much more amplified tomorrow, and I might be wrong, on models. So we'll see. But if we want to, I mean that, yeah, this would allow a lot more people to get involved, and this is where dynamics take over, and then northern Mass and the Berkshires get walloped. So, um, and it's not like crazy too, right? It's not some crazy, it's not like a foot and a half of snow crazy. We're not talking about that, but all right, gives Worcester a little bit snow, Berkshires here, and then up here lighter snowfall totals. I still think this would do a little bit better. I think RGM would be underdoing some of it just a little bit up here. I think this would be a widespread, at least 3 to 6, I would say, in this area, and then elevated would be 6 to 12. That's kind of what I think. I think if you continue to go from 1,000 just south of Long Island, if you go from 1,000 to 991 in the Gulf of Maine, you go 9 millibars, you're going to be you're going to be intensifying, and you're going to be having solid moisture being thrown back here. Not completely back in the flow. We don't really go negative like quite early enough, and we don't want to, because then that would mean we amplify everything too soon. So we want to be able to get more snow across this area. You want a low pressure system just south of Long Island, and we want to be, whatever, 1,000 mil to whatever, and then intensify. We want that low pressure system to ideally go over or southeast of Nantucket. Ideally, a lot of them want to take it almost over Cape Cod, but take that low pressure south of Cape Cod into the Gulf of Maine and drop a good 8 to 10 millibars in this time frame. The 3 inches we got in Indy last week was wild. Nice southern track. Yeah, I was skeptical about that, but you had really good dynamics. If we go back just to in Indy, you had really good dynamics on the backside that came through. Good mid-level dynamics, and yeah, I was able to get cooking. It provided the lake effect snow in Cleveland for the Browns game, and also produced the snowstorm out here. All that same system. So that was a cool system to track, to be honest. That was a good early season, technically preseason event to kind of track there. So if you want, if you know you want, and you're close to the rain snow line, you kind of want what I think is going to happen. I'm not just saying that because, I mean, I don't really get much out of this regardless. I'd be lucky to even get a coating of an inch here. So I'm not really at play for that much snow. So I don't really have much at stake. But like these areas here, if you want more snow and you're kind of stuck, elevated Jersey and other places in southern New England, you want something more like an RGM, GFS, Euro AI. So this is really a good, again, another solid event that may not produce. And then here's another interesting thing on the backside. We'll keep an eye on this. Take a look at the winds. All right, so we have that northeast easterly flow, and that could be enough to get some snow along elevated places here, and maybe enough can work its way down, and we can get some snow here. Maybe. See that little bit of a southeasterly flow there, and maybe and we're cold now at this point, well cold. So as the low pressure system moves through, this is where the first winter-esque really starts to get cooking, right? After this storm moves through, let me show it here. We get cold. Right here, it's good enough. It's like low 30s, but we're colder aloft. We're much colder aloft at this point too. So that's what matters. Do we have 850 temps, maybe thermos? Right, plenty. Now we're 850 on the backside here, like -4, around -4 at 850. So if there is any precip left on the backside, you can get a chance maybe for a little bit, just a little bit of snow showers for over late night Thursday, Friday morning. So NAM's kind of just throwing out a possible scenario. Not many others have shown it. I don't think so, at least the RGM. And then yeah, so we're gonna transition here in a second to some of the interesting stuff I saw in the GFS, but it's still and the lake effect it's going to. Lake effect machine gets cranking on Friday. Yeah, there's a little bit left here, so some snow showers, light snow possible Thursday night, Friday, across New England after the storm moves through, basically. Appreciate everybody in the YouTube chat, and then you can kind of see on the backside, RGM kind of depicts it. Maybe as your colder temps aloft start to kick in, you can start to maybe get some snow on the backside for some areas that were close to mixing before. So we'll keep an eye on that. But yeah, I appreciate everybody in the YouTube chat. If you don't mind, liking the stream so we can keep expanding. It is greatly appreciated. But just your guys' presence in here is plenty enough as it is too. So, but we're going to expand on YouTube. I keep saying it because we are this winter. All right, let's take a look here at and some of the changes I was talking about that needed to happen In the long range, this operational run they happen to. So I kind of, let's see, still thinking that models have the low hugging the close to high blocking. Maybe it's good after Friday. The cold sets up, no doubt. So here's, and this my main point has remained. A lot of people get hooked on like just we live, for whatever reason, to bring it. We live in a world where people like have to see, like they have to see it. If they don't see it, then it's not there, and that's the problem. Like if a player isn't good now, it doesn't mean they're not going to be good in the future. Like I'm a big sports fan, so I see all the talk and stuff about this. Like just a lot of people get caught up in the moments. Like what you see now matters and nothing else after. It's the same with weather models. Just because you don't have a big storm that's on the models now, it doesn't mean it can't happen. The fact we have cold air in place, the fact we have cold air in place, plenty of cold, and we need to amplify the flow more. Give me that over being warm and over amplified all day long. I don't want to see cutters in the long range. I'd rather see suppression and cold air in place. We can move. We like energy can move. Vorticity can move. Right? As dumb as that sounds, kind of like the pieces can move and adjust a good amount in the long range. Temperature, not as much. Temperature is much better, well forecasted in like the 4 to 8 day in that medium range. It's much better forecasted than what actually happens. And this is, I think, what people were talking about here on this one. Yeah, that'd be a massive storm. A little bit of a battle, maybe, but that's kind of what we're talking about. And then even before that, so I was lucky enough to tweet earlier. Look at the third through the fifth, and then the seventh through the ninth, and then sure enough, the next run, December 7th and 8th, big one. And then look at that after. See, the biggest thing here is we can go love me some North America because that's where I think it's best at. We'll go to 500 height anomalies, and I think you have just even to here from 0Z last night to tonight. What's your biggest change is ridging. Ridging is your biggest change here. Go to much stronger ridging out here too. And here in the North Atlantic, flow makes it harder for us to go farther east and just push it out. Makes it go further vertical, even if offshore. Remember, this at least allows us, the more we can amplify these short waves coming off around this ridge, the sooner we can, the more we can do this. So, and there's inverted trough potential at a minimum in this time frame down the road for this setup, at least. That December 3rd to 5th, kind of 4th to 5th, whenever that is, the one that comes after. So basically, there's a round. We're not really going to get the changes. Yeah, when windshield wiper effects sometimes happen in a 4 to 8 day Bubba news. It does happen. So this is going to be difficult. This one probably going to miss it with this one here. Just a little bit too late. Still get sheared off. Really not enough blocking up here. Um, and so the path of least resistance, and there's no ridging up here strong enough too. So the path of least resistance is going to be to want to go out, and um, there's not really a reason for this to try to amplify sooner. At least of now. That's what the setup. That's what the setup suggests now. But then as we progress, we go forward. This one is one to watch. this guy here, it's way out. It's way out in the distance. But after is, I think it's one to watch. Maybe where it's way too suppressed. But I think this is when you start freeing up a little bit, and there's a strong you have a strong piece of vorticity present, and it allows you. You're still late, but inverted trough. That's what you would get. And then after that, that'd be another one to watch. I don't want to even get to details with this because it's like 10 to 11 days out, but it's one to watch, in my opinion, in terms of just a threat of something. And even still, I don't, it's just one run, so I'm not gonna get too much into it. But and then you'll have stuff to watch potentially after as well. But the consistency here is western ridging and cold air in place. That's kind of the continued consistency when we look at the longer range, and we can look for this to continue to be in place for the next couple of weeks at a minimum, and maybe longer. Right? And the reason you get this system is now you get high pressure, you get high pressure to build in here with your western ridge. There's nowhere for this thing to go but here, right? You have blocking. Only place for this thing to go is that, and that's the change ultimately, right? This nowhere near present on the last run, and it makes my point all the more that models are just going to keep changing. It's 24 hours. Right, not even close to the same. 6 hours. No, actually, that's closer. Never mind. But so I like that kind of. If we're getting closer to, it's pretty far out, but something. So that's why I get intrigued in this time frame. That we continue to watch what happens. Again, the domino pieces are going to play off of one another for sure. For this one that moves through, Thxgiving storm moves through. Another piece, kind of a slider, still too progressive, slides off, and then another one after. And again, crazier stuff has happened before. So you still have to keep a little bit of a close eye, especially in eastern New England for some of these, to keep an eye. And that's why that's why eastern New England, I think, has the highest margin for error. Just New England in general, they have the highest margin for error with this pattern. They can really catch make up for other people. And we'll continue the long range pattern in a second. Take a stop to take a quick look at the euro, and come right back. Appreciate everybody that has liked the stream on YouTube. Let's keep it coming. Again, VGWX expansion is happening on there. I appreciate everybody that's on here coming, whether you're viewing it now or later. I appreciate it. See. Do you think Newtown, Pennsylvania gets snow? You're 5,000 feet. You're 5,000. I'm sorry. I don't know where Newtown is, but give me. You can tell me where. Kind of give me an area you're nearby, but I don't know Newtown. I can't search up everybody's. But yeah, ask me where. You tell me where a Newtown is, and I can help you out. But let's get to. More than happy to give you an idea, though, but do not know where Newtown is. I'm guessing it's a newer town. That's a pretty good pun, if you ask me. No applause. Sad. Let's go to, oh, I want Euro. Let's see. I want, let's take a look. Let's see what the Euro spit out for us, guys. Let's see what it did. Go 36. Why is it not? Yeah, a little bit more progressive, not as amplified this run, which would line up better. So maybe we'll get, because Euro does better thermals than the GFS. See how we're less amplified here? This is more amplified. This is flatter, right? And that's what you look for. Not that exact spot, but location. That beat loud. Just to give you an idea where the Euro was a few days ago. Euro did not win this one out, ladies and gentlemen. Did not. Yeah, let's take a look. Let's see. I want to see what it did mid levels. Yeah. Yosef. I'm not gonna say your whole name, but Yosef. I don't. You tell me where. Give me an idea where Newtown is, and I can help you out. Yeah. This is gonna come a good amount back. Not a great showing for the new Euro in this storm. And the sleet also is not, there's not going to be any wintry mix on this one, so we can bring it back to single image for this. Basically, it's just a good indication of what your rain snow line. What you can kind of use it as almost as like white rain area, kind of, maybe kind of, areas that are snowing. This would be rain up here in the valley probably, but and your heavy snow just north. Well, I know it's in Pennsylvania, but tell me where in Pennsylvania. Tell me where in Pennsylvania, and I can help. Are you northeastern PA? Are you central? Are you northern PA up here? Are you by Binghamton? Are you by Scranton? You down here in southwest PA? Where you at? And so let's see what Euro. I wish we had 3-hour increments. Euro is much broader with the low pressure here. I mean, this is a real large, broad area of low pressure. Surprised it's not a little bit more confined. That'd make it difficult to wrap in some of those better dynamics, and then it gets tighter, and then moves it. You see how we're, we're kind of over. We want to just a little bit further south, a little bit further south. And so yeah, and then it kind of wraps up, and then Maine starts cashing in. If you go to 989, you're gonna thump in Maine. This isn't mix either. This is snow. This is either snow or rain. It's not going to sleet. Let's take a look at another. Actually, I want to take in the long range. I want to take a look at some of those Jeff's long range runs, but let's go to Jeff's GFS here. Or I want to go 3K. I want to look at some of these thermals here for the storm, so we can get an idea of what we're looking at. Where's our biggest warm layer? And it's probably just going to be from it's from the lower levels. It's not a mid-level mix, but where exactly is it? Completely surface. Let's take a look right along the mix line here. All right, so we are a little bit higher than I thought we were. So I guess sleet's possible, but dynamic cooling would win out here. But this would not be great, even though you have such good lift in the atmosphere, right? -3 omega, you're -20. You don't have great upper level cold air here either. So your dendritic growth zone is from about 475 to about 600. About 5 to 600 is about average for reference, and so that's not an unbelievable dendritic growth zone. As you can see, we're going to be well saturated. 300 and okay, dang. So you can see the thermals here. This is probably close to this might be rain because you're just so close along here, all the way from 800 down. So I guess 850 is going to be pretty key here. Something to look at. Again, this NAM run. Let's see where we are here. I think this isn't a terrible idea though from this NAM 3K with the low pressure system. Not a terrible job here. You know, and the NAM 3K is not a bad depiction, I think, with how this plays out. I think the NAM 3K is not a bad. NAM 3K and 12K are not quite the same, but it's a little blotchy with the precip, and you know, it's still a little bit far for even the 3K. You know, it'll be better. The 3K will probably be a little bit better tomorrow night. But I want to get an idea. See if we can get the GFS. You know, it can at least tell me what I'm looking at. That's snow. That's not rain. That's snow. That's snow all day long. So, GFS thermals are poo-poo. Now that's rain. See how we come over all the way? We come over all the way here. So that's going to be that would be rain in that scenario. Yeah, there's no sleep. It's not a sleep profile storm really. You know, it was honestly a little bit closer than I thought. Thought that warm tongue was going to be a little bit lower, but you know, around 850 is the warm tongue. So 850s are going to be the key. Let's see if we can get. Damn close, those 850s, right? Look at your margins, so close here on the 3K. All right, this is 42 hours out. That you'll have a chance, right? If you're below freezing in all these places at 850, you'll have a chance midday to to stay snow. So look at your 850s here. Below freezing all the way here. So you have a chance for dynamic cooling to take over and maybe win out. And then on the backside, maybe some light snow if you as they crash. So that'll be something to watch. That'll be something to watch for sure. And then what was I? Was it Euro? Yeah, see what it. Let's take a look at the snow map because why not? Just to get an idea. If we get to no Kachera, seriously, you need pivotal. You need plus, dude. Pivotal. You gotta stop taking away. Like, I can't wait to get my weather bell again soon. This is 10-1, so this is not. It's gonna be a wetter snow, so don't really take it verbatim. But an idea of, right, Euro pulling it further south here. Right, a good 3 to 6, 4 to 8. Good 4 to 8. Some a little bit more in some places. Another good 3 to 6 swath here. Right, I'm telling you, Central PA here, sneaky spot for an overperforming in terms of places. When I mean overperforming, not like places see like a foot of snow here, but more so places further south that aren't supposed to see that much, if any, get like 1 to 3 inches. Now, if you're in a valley, it's going to be difficult. Can NYC cash in with the upcoming chances? Yes. Not here. I don't know. I was checking. I would love to take advantage of that. I'm going to take advantage of it. So if you're new here with YouTube, or you just haven't heard me mention it, we're going to upgrade our streaming. So we're going to go 1080 streaming quality. We're going to get an upgraded streaming on Restream here because they got their sale going out, and that's what I was kind of waiting for. I want to give you guys better quality, so we'll go 1080. Get more of an HD look, so everything looks a bit clearer. We're going to get a new microphone at some point soon as well, and we're also I will be getting weather bell. So yeah, I can if you seem like a nice person, I can help you out if you give me an idea for where Newtown is. Central, Northeast PA, Northern, but just an idea. I think this covers it. Elevated areas down here and towards the Appalachians, and then even moving through. Set myself up there, and then elevated areas going up into here. Right, that's a more opportunity for snow as well. But the general area is here. This whole area is going to see 3 to 6 inches of snow with pockets of 5 to 10, 4 to 8, with some 8 to 12 possible, and then up here some 6 to 12 inches probably, I would say, with a widespread 4 to 8. That's kind of where I would go with for now. Yeah, so Weather Bell doesn't have one in there for now, but maybe they have a Black Friday for during the day or Cyber Monday. So I'm hoping that either way I'm gonna get it, but I'm just hoping that we can get a discount for that. So let's go to where was I gonna go? First, I want to expand this out because we're gonna let the euro kind of roll out here and kind of see if there are any other OZ changes as well. 0Z, whatever you want to call it. Again, appreciate everybody that's liked the stream. For those that haven't, keep mentioning it just because I just want to get let's keep expanding on here. You know, you guys see what what we're doing here, and we kind of a special niche. We're a little bit different than most weather YouTube people. Um, and on X, not many stream on there as well. So X pops out when they need to, and even most people that just don't comment as much, which is fine either. Or they watch the stream after. So I appreciate everybody on both platforms if you're watching right now. Okay, let's get to. Actually, I just want to see what it's. Let's get to North America. And then go to 90, 108. $144. All right. Still, that could be something for the southern mid-Atlantic there. Little something. All right. Still gets sheared off though. But if we compare from, let's see where we were 0Z last night with that. Big difference. So you need to move this, and you need to go at least neutral. You need to be at least neutral by now. And so, but it's really like the one that comes behind it. This is like December. This is not even like the threat I was talking about. This is like December, like 2nd and 3rd. Does it spit out anything? I'm just curious. This could be something to watch though for the South or Mid-Atlantic, assuming there's enough cold air, which there is. So it could be something to watch for any of my southern folks. That could be something to watch. December 2nd and 3rd. Keep an eye on that. If you're it would take a lot for this to be a major event, but this area in here for my southern and mid-Atlantic folks, and keep an eye on that time frame. It would be small, but anything snow-wise that happens there is pretty impactful. So that would be a time frame to keep an eye on. And the GFS has it too. It's just it's not really able to get a lot of precip going with it as much as, at least I think so, as the Euro. With a little bit, but it's also a little bit further north. It's a little bit along the terrain, higher elevations. Again, it would be really light. Then I'm curious what happens. See what. This is the 4th to the 5th. Again, they're going to come one after another. One after another. We're going to be seeing wave after wave, opportunity to get snow. The cold air is in place. Question is, can we convert on some of these events? So that's not too far off. You can see a big change from last night's Euro to the Euro tonight. Aligns more with the GFS, with this one that comes across. So if we can kind of just we can kind of start to develop an upper level low a little bit sooner here, then you can get some light snow, negative inverted trough. Gotta make bread. Yeah, I don't know. Weather Bell has like the best of the best out there. So, um, they know who they sell to. They mainly appeal to meteorologists with, I guess you could say, stable jobs. Even though that I think broadcast meteorology is not in a great spot right now, in my opinion, from both standpoints of a lot of the work that gets done. Um, I'm not. It's not anything to any individual meteorologist, by the way. I'm just saying there's a fair share of um, uh, broadcast meteorologists that could do if you have a degree and you understand this stuff, you could do better like for some of these people. And then in terms of the other side, not as many people are getting their weather through that here. I mean, look where you guys are right now, and you're watching me talk about this stuff. Watching, Ryan Hall and Max Velocity and all these different people. But there's a line with that too as well. Misinformation. So hype. So there's kind of a line with that too, where we have less professional taking over. I'm definitely not professional. You can definitely call me less professional. That are kind of taking over on YouTube and social media, TikTok. But here, just a little bit. Do this 2 frames backwards, and you can get some snow. It will look so messy. Again, this is still pretty far, but you can see here, even it still shows a little bit. Even with that, even how late it is, you still get some light snow there. A little bit of a light snow event. So not too far off. GFS just has a little bit more of an exciting look at 500 in my opinion, just a little bit. But yeah, you'll see this like one after another. All these guys are firing. It's going to be the snow train for somebody, but some of these might be the Atlantic snow train. And then I'll see what I want to see what it does after here. Again, you got questions about general for the winter, or just overall with Thxgiving storm. Kind of curious just to still know where Newtown, PA is, so maybe we can search that up after. But this place that apparently had 390 inches of snow, I'm not gonna lie, I'm a little skeptical of that, but 5,000 feet of elevation, it's possible. We'll go to 4 to 10. Boy, I mean, it's just cold air, ladies and gentlemen. You got cold air that works in. I mean, this is cold air here. We're gonna have starting next week, but man, towards the latter half of the week, next week, we're really gonna be tapping into some of the polar vortex. It appears. Go This is a good stretch event here from the polar vortex. Warming over the North Pole here. Santa's workshop will be a little bit warmer next week, maybe. I don't know. Something to keep an eye on with how this progresses. GFS, I think, has a little bit different, maybe. Let's take a look. Come on. Come on. Yeah. A little bit different on the GFS. Just get the ridging to build in more as opposed to here. That'll be tough to do. But you do get it warming up here, but this ridge is going to make it difficult. When your ridge is this far out, where you drop your energy, it's going to make it pretty difficult for this, but it's going to make it damn cold, that's for sure. It's going to get, at a minimum, it's going to get cold. It's going to get pretty cold late next week. Well, it's snowing technically on this time frame, but it's a good start to winter, if you ask me. It's a pretty good start to winter. Give me opportunities than none. Give me something to go off of. Potentially get excited about. I think listen, I think we're trending in an all right direction. I don't want to get too optimistic, but I think we have decent setups here down the line. I think the 4th to the 5th is one to keep an eye on, and then the 7th to the 9th. Something in there. So those would be the two I would highlight beyond just Thxgiving storm. Though that's what's most intriguing to me. Down down the line. Let's see here. 500 height anomaly. Alright, that ain't gonna get it done. For snow. For cold, it'll absolutely get it done. But let's see how it compared to last night. That's a lot different. A little bit more rigid building around here. And then, let's see. Right, ups and the operational have been somewhat close to each other so far, I've noticed. Actually, let's just do the trend gift. Let's do that instead. Let's go 0Z. It's hard with such a specific model run, but yeah, not too much to take away other than the placement of the western ridging was really one of the bigger things. But so yeah, it's not like Nothing too crazy to make out here with long range Euro, but you don't want to be searching for too much in the long range. Because you might be making something out of nothing. But you never know. This GFS run was beautiful though. Just one after another. Opportunity after opportunity right here. Beautiful. Why not? Why not feed the masses? Want to take a look at it? Let's admire something. Why not? We don't need to post it on X this time. I know. Beauty. Maybe that rain snow line creeps a little bit too much here. But I know. I want to talk about back in the flow right there. No, it's not a forecast for those that are curious. Just admiring one run. Let me have it. Would be awesome here. So this probably won't last. You probably maybe. Well, what did it 18Z had? What did it have? It had something 18Z. I know it had. Right, I'm not tripping here. Right, yeah, it had something. Right, a little bit different. But it would be cool if we were seeing some long range consistency with something. And then the upper level low, yeah, your temperatures are fine. You're just placement of the upper level low. If we were to really get antsy about this is technically the same time frame as that bomb. No, it's not. I think it's a little bit. It's a little bit later. Was it this one? No, it was the day before. It's not the same time frame. It was this one. This was a bomb. Was it? Did I get it wrong again? How long ago was this? Here we go. There's the beauty. Where is it now? Oof. Not there. That's just how it works. I guess kind of. It's a lot different, but there's something there. There's something. But yeah, really, what you need to get. You really would like to get your subtropical jet a little bit more active here, right? Building your ridge like you have here in troughs that go neutral, over start going towards neutral on land, not offshore. If you do that only offshore when they're going neutral, then it just makes it a New England exclusive pattern versus all the way back here. And we're not even neutral. Right now, we're troughs are going over most of, and for the most part, last couple days have been going out to sea while being progressive. And so what we want to look for is more troughs that continue to be negative or sorry, neutral, as they're leaving the U.S. and going over to the ocean. So we want to be able to do something like this here, kind of. These, in my opinion, are the golden ones, right? You really have an opportunity. Even here, we go back to here. If you can consolidate more here earlier, because your flow is still super progressive, amplify this northern branch of energy here, this clipper system, more, and you can dip it a little bit further south too. And then you start getting like a bigger IVT, inverted trough potential, down the road. This would already would be. This is so far down the road that it's not worth getting over details too much. But you see how you get, even here, you still get a low pressure system to form, and you get a little bit of a mini snowstorm, kind of a 1 to 3, whatever, something, and the one after that, whatever. But you could maybe do invert. It doesn't even it ends up the flow is too fast for it, but a little bit of an inverted trough potential with that one as well. I think down the road, really all of these over the next 7 to 9 days are going to have inverted trough potential. So it's really kind of a pick your poison if it develops correctly. And when I say correctly, beneficial for snow lovers. Let's take a look at the Jeffs. Because is this GFS operational run an outlier, or is it something to keep an eye on? I don't know. So the Jeffs run, I'll say, does not line up. Like kind of. It's different from last night. I know that. Right. This is I'd argue better. But you have more blocking here present to try to trap stuff in versus keep sliding out. All right. You want to slow the flow more. You want to slow everything down more here. You want to go fast to slow. That's what you're trying to do. If you're fast, you're not going to be able to get it done. You have to slow stuff down sooner. How you do it? You get stuff to block. Blocking can help do that significantly. So yeah. But so it's actually not too. It's not too terrible. You can kind of see really the only difference is you have a little bit more blocking here that breaks up this, so it allows you to amplify and trap something in here. But it's not the same. And this is an ensemble mean, so it's taking a total of the 20 ensemble members. So there could be, and it's not super strong, troughing through here, and you can kind of see there is like two, it's like kind of spread out. So there's not really, it's not like this is coming all the way down here. And we did increase our blocking here significantly. So if you can continue to do that, that can provide you an opportunity to trap something in, slow it down, amplify it. In the Euro, and that would be possible on the Euro too, if you had more blocking up here at this time as well. More rigid. So that's kind of your path to how you can get a snowstorm down the line. Let's see with the euro. What just happened? No. As cool of a graphic that is. No. You're close though. On this euro operational, you just need this to build in. You need this ridging to build in here. And again, preferably a little bit more vertical with the ridging. So you can allow something to come in through here. If not, if your ridge is going to be as widthy as, I guess, for lack of a better term, you need much better blocking up here to trap stuff. That's kind of how it works here in the longer range. And then maybe you can get something. Now, why not look at it? And then you kind of get something you would like, but you need all this to happen further south. You need to be further south. That'd be real cold air. So at a minimum, it's where the cold air is going to be in place going down the line. We're going to have cold air. So that's the ongoing positive. The question is, are we going to suppress our storms too much? That's really the question that comes in now. But this GFS run tonight was just an example of why I would rather have the cold air in place, allow storms to amplify, and worry about it from there. So this is where my takeaway street. Oh no, don't go there. Nobody cares about that. You don't show up again. Come on. Painful. Third to fifth, fourth, more of a fourth to fifth kind of time frame, and then seventh to ninth. Those are the two time frames I'm looking at after the Thxgiving storm. Those are the two time frames I'm looking at, and I think have the most snowy potential. I'm not a fan of the stuff in between. I think that's going to be we're going to be too suppressed. We're going to be pressing down too much on and not giving enough opportunity for storms to amplify early enough. So meaning we're going to be pushing stuff, fast flow, stuff that amplifies out here in the North Atlantic, up here in the Canadian Maritimes. So that's what I look at. And then if you do more, then that's why Maine, Eastern Maine has like the most margin for error going forward. And then with Thxgiving, just to put a bow on that, I think Euro was much more in line, so we'll just use that. Let's see if it did anything interesting though. Probably not. It's not the look. It just keeps the cold air in place. So let's go to. We can go to 48 hours. Right, this is really back-to-back setups now where at 500 height, it looks pretty good if you're looking at the long range. Looks pretty good. But 500 height does not tell the whole story. So let's get to, let me get to the northeast here. Gonna get colder, ladies and gentlemen, for sure this weekend. 10 to 1, so don't take the totals verbatim, but I like the, if you were to make a snow map, regardless of what the Euro P-type map looked like, I think this is a pretty good. I think those Northwest Connecticut mountains get into it, and then High Point. That's your accumulating snowfall potential right there, and those PA mountains too for Thxgiving. This is where people cash in on. That's where your most snow will be. These two areas, right here, and then kind of a elevation jackpot maybe here in Vermont. So yeah. Alright, that's going to do it, ladies and gentlemen. Appreciate everybody that came in. If you don't mind liking the stream on your way out so we can continue to expand, it's very appreciated on YouTube, on X. Thanks for everybody.